Welcome back to my channel. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever, and I feel like I've been saying that in every single video, but it has been a while. I was gonna sit down and film my November wrap up, but I only read 4 books in November. So I figured we can do a bit of a November wrap up and a December TBR because I have some videos. I have some books that I want to read in December. So let's get started. We'll start with the wrap up since there's not very many books. Clearly, I have been in a bit of a book slump. I'm filming another video right now and it's like me getting out of my book slump. So hopefully it works because this is really sad. And I know like it doesn't matter how many books you read as long as you're enjoying them. But like what's typical for me is about 12 books a month. So 4 is significantly less. The month of November was a really difficult month for me, so I understand why I didn't get to read as many. I didn't have a lot of time for reading, and as you can tell, I have a different background. I am back home, so that's just kind of why my life sucked a bit in November. So we'll just get started. I don't have any of the physical books. Like the 4 books I read in November, I don't have them to hold up with me because they are currently in a U-Haul, probably somewhere in the middle of the US. So I also have not 1, but 2 Dunkins. They had like a deal where like if you buy a drink, you get a free chai. And so I bought a chai and I got a free chai because I love their chai. Kind of, I don't know, it's not that great. The first book I read in November was One of Us Is Next by Karen M. McManus. I will put it on the screen so you can like look along with me. I rated this book a 4 stars, which is pretty good. It was the second book after One of Us Is Lying, and it follows different characters, but you still see the characters in the first book in this book, so I liked that aspect about it. I enjoyed it. If you don't know what this series is about, the first one is about 5 friends who go to detention and then one of them dies.
Didn't get that. Could you try again?
That's because I'm not talking to you. It's about 5 friends who go to detention and one of them dies in detention, and all 4 of the other people who are in detention are like suspects. So they're trying to figure out what happened to him and how he died. And then the second one follows like, I think it's a grade below the first like generation of characters, or maybe 2 grades below. But it follows them, and then there's this like game that they don't know who is playing the game, but basically they all get like texts and it's like truth or dare, and then if they don't choose dare, then the person who created the game like releases like a truth about them to the whole school, and it's like obviously not something you'd want the whole school knowing. It was good. There is a 3rd book and I want to get it. I think it's One of Us Is Back, and I want to read that one because I'm pretty sure I gave One of Us Is Lying 4 stars as well. Yeah, I did. So like so far this has been like a pretty good series in my opinion. So I'm excited to continue it. The next book I read is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This is the 3rd book in that little companion novel series. They're all interconnected standalones and they're barely connected. Like you don't see the connectedness very much, especially in this last book. But this one I also gave 4 stars. This book is about a woman named Vanessa, and she's like a travel vlogger. So she documents all her travels on YouTube, and she travels a lot. Like that is her job. But her younger sister has a baby and she can't take care of the baby, so then Vanessa has to like come home from her travels and take care of the baby. And then she like meets her next door neighbor who's like this lawyer dude, and obviously you know what happens after that. She has, I'm pretty sure it's ALS. It runs in her family, so she like kind of swears off men because she's like convinced that she's gonna die when she's young. So she's like trying to get over that rule she made for herself while she's like meeting this neighbor dude and also like taking care of a baby. So it was a good book. I thought it was so cute and I really liked it. I listened to it on audiobook and it was just so fun. Like I wanted to keep reading it because it was just so fun and like I wanted to know what happened next. The next book I read was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is the same author as Divine Rivals. I loved Divine Rivals. Like I would sell my soul to read it again. That was such a good book. So I wanted to read another book by the same author, and I gave this book a 3 stars, which I honestly feel like is a little high. Like I didn't really love it, which made me so sad because I loved Divine Rivals. This book is another fantasy. It's about a guy named Jack who hasn't been home in 10 years, but young girls start like disappearing in his hometown, and he's been like summoned back to his hometown to like help figure it out. And there's like a whole bunch of like fantasy magical elements to it, which didn't bother me. I liked that part. It was just like the storyline. It moved very slowly, which was the same for Divine Rivals, but Divine Rivals, I like was eating it up. Like I would read 10 pages and be like, oh my gosh, that felt like 1 page. Like it was going by so fast. Whereas this book, I would read 10 pages and be like, oh my gosh, that felt like 100. Like what is going on? It just felt so different. It was so much slower and I wasn't interested. I didn't really care what was happening and it just wasn't that like fun of a read. So that's why I feel like 3 stars is a little bit high, but the ending was really good. And that's like what made me want to give it a higher rating. So I don't know, I'm gonna stick with 3 stars, but it just wasn't my favorite. It's also a part of a series. And the covers are so pretty. I wanna get the second one just so I own both of them in the series. These are the 2 covers together. They're just so pretty, but I don't know if I will pick up the second one. I haven't decided yet. I don't even know when it comes out or if it's already out, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. I got 2 different types of chai. Like this one is a caramel chai and this one is a vanilla chai with cookie cold foam. And I like this one way better and I have a little bit left, so I'm just gonna combine them. That is so much ice. It tastes the same because I can't even mix it. And then the last book I read for November, this is so sad that I only read 4 books. This last book I finished on November 15th, so I just have not picked up a book since then. And that is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. This book I also gave a 4 stars, which honestly, it might be a little bit higher. This was such a good book. It's about the book is about a woman who gets into an accident and then she falls into a coma and you're figuring out like what happened to get her into that accident. But also like she can still hear the world around her. She just can't talk or open her eyes or move. So she's hearing everything that's going on and all the conversations people are having in her room while she's in the hospital, and it was so good. I did not expect the plot twist at all. I think the only reason why I didn't give it like a higher rating was because the very end, like the last 10 words, I don't understand what they meant. And I hate when books leave me feeling confused, and I feel like it's always thrillers or fantasy books because I just don't understand what the ending meant. Like what could it mean for the plot? But other than that, I love this book. I would totally recommend it. If you're looking for like a good thriller, I really recommend it. I do not like gore or anything like too scary, which is why I'll never do horror, but thrillers I can do, and this one like wasn't too scary. Like I could have read it at night and I wouldn't have been like scared to walk into the kitchen, whereas some other books, the ones that make me scared to walk into the kitchen at night, I can't do those because they will haunt me. So this was a really good one if you're looking for like a chill thriller. So those are all the books I finished in November. I did start Where on This Life by Renee Carlino, and this book is so good so far. I am pretty far in. I'm this far in, so I'm a little more than halfway, and I am obsessed with it. It's about a girl who reads a book, and the book is her life story, and it's written by someone she hasn't seen since her childhood. And it is just so good. So you get like a lot of the book is her reading that book, and it is so good. This is done so well. So far, it's sitting at a 5 stars for me. I cannot wait to finish this and see what it ends at. But I read Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. If you have never read that book, it is so underrated. That is definitely a 5-star book for me, and I absolutely loved it. I wanted to pick this one up because I liked that other one so much. And so far, this one is hitting so good. I just like haven't wanted to finish it because I just haven't been in the mood for like this type of romance. Any romance in general, really. But I'm gonna finish it soon because it looks so good. So that one's kind of on my December TBR, as well as The Housemaid's Secret. This is another book that I started in November. I think I'm on page like 20. So I didn't get very far, but I'm really enjoying it so far. This is the second book after The Housemaid, right? Yeah, The Housemaid. And that one was so good. So I'm excited to see like where this one goes with the story. The Housemaid, it was about a maid who lives in this person's attic, and the lock to her bedroom is on the outside. and a whole bunch of like weird stuff goes on, and it gets really good and like really crazy. And so I'm excited to like read more about this one. So this is another one that I definitely want to get to in December. And then the last book that I want to get into December that I've already started is this book. It's called The Xmas Holidays. Again, I'm like halfway through. This is the book I've been reading recently. It's about a girl who breaks up with her boyfriend and moves back home. And she bumps into her ex-boyfriend, and she goes to work at the ski resort where they had worked at before together when they were dating, but I don't think they ever actually dated. But she calls him her ex. Anyways, she goes to work at the ski resort as like a ski instructor, and she's like trying to figure out her life, and it is hitting a little too close to home, but it is really good. Okay, that's a lie. It's not really good. It's like decently good. For a Christmas book, it's pretty good, and I'm enjoying it. And then I just have 3 other books that I've bought recently, so like they're kind of on my radar, and that is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the 5th book in the Chestnut Spring series, and I'm excited to read this. I just don't know when yet. I don't know if it's gonna be in December. I also have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is another book I'm excited for. It's the 2nd in the Maple Hills series, but it's more like a summery book. Like, it's about a summer camp, so I don't know, reading it in December just kind of feels wrong, but I also live in California and it always kind of feels like summer, so we'll see. And then the last book I have is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This one I do want to read soon because Never by Jessa Hastings is coming out soon, and that's a Peter Pan retelling. This is also a Peter Pan retelling, and I want to watch Peter Pan because I've never seen it, so I feel like I want to do all that and like be in my Peter Pan era. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll get to this one. Some other books just kind of on my radar are Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey, just because like it's the holiday season, and then Window Shopping, also by Tessa Bailey, I'm pretty sure. That is a coincidence. I don't even like Tessa Bailey's writing that much, but I love Christmas books, so I feel like maybe she'll do those really well. I also want to read In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, but I do want to read some more holiday books. Maybe I'll do a video where I read holiday books. I don't know, we'll see. Those are all the books I'm kind of planning to read in December. I'm hoping that I can get more into reading. I asked for a few books for Christmas, so I'm hoping that like getting new books will inspire me to read more. We'll see. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around with me. I have been so bad at posting lately, but I'm hoping to get on a more regular schedule. Thanks for sticking around. Love you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.